All right. Good evening. Today is Saturday, June 29th, 2024, approximately 6:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to try not to make the video too long, but as usual, I want to go over a few good tidbits of information. So first thing we're going to do is going to do a recap of last week. I'll show you the trades that I took, the three losses that I took, and then the two wins that I took, which actually ended up getting me back close to break even for the week. And then I'll finish off with some of the adjustments that I made as a result of this week's trading and everything. So without further ado, so the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, we'll recap last week's trade. So the first trade that I ended up getting into last week was, I want to say it was this one right here. So what I did was I was waiting for market structure. Actually, yeah, it was right. Let's see. So the first trade came. Yep, it was. Yeah, it was right around here. This was yep, so this was the first one. So the first one that I tried getting into was right around here. So this was Wednesday around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I got in. I saw the rejection there. And decided to get in on a buy because I was, doing my analysis and everything. I knew that, or I had a pretty good idea that, my bias was, to the upside. So it was bullish to begin with. So I ended up putting the trade in and give it a second here while it refreshes. So okay. All right, so I ended up putting the trade in, put a buy trade in, and as you can see here, the market pushed up a little bit, but didn't go too far or what have you, and ended up, of course, turning around on me, hitting my stop loss, and taking me out of that trade. So that was that one. So got up the next morning looking for opportunities, and decided to take another opportunity which was right around here. So I said, okay, um, I'll look at this opportunity here. I saw that, we were here in a position where we were going to get the cross on the oscillator here. So I said, momentum is going in the bullish direction, the bias for the day. So I ended up taking this trade. And of course, again, as you can see, it turned against me and got stopped out once again because I had my stop loss like right around here or so. So got stopped out once again, which was fine, but I ended up getting right back in after further analysis and seeing that what ended up happening was price came down and took the liquidity from previous session lows. So it took this liquidity. So once I saw the liquidity move here, I ended up getting back in and pretty much I was able to ride it up. My target was here. So I was able to reach my target there. So that was, let's see. Yep. Yeah, I had it set at about 30 pips. So it was that one was a 30 pip or so move. So that was my first win for the week after taking the two losses already, what have you. So I was pretty much down, so far for the week. So then what I ended up doing was I was watching the market, saw some moves being made. And so then Friday, the next move that I ended up getting in was this one right here. So I saw the market push down, but again, my bias was to the upside. Um, And so I got in on this candle right here. And as you can see, almost similar to the previous scenario, right? Um, it pushed up a bit, and then of course I ended up getting stopped out in the end before I was able to make before it was able to hit my TP. So it was showing some promise, but that promise was never realized. That promise was never realized um, because I ended up getting stopped out. And then you can see the market continue to push down a bit. And then we ended up again, like I said, similar to the previous trading session or day or what have you. The price came down, swept liquidity of the lows, and then started its push up to the upside. So I ended up getting back in as this candle was pushing up. I saw that we were about to close up in this area here. So I got in, put my stop loss right here. And this one was interesting in the way this one ended for me. I pushed up. My initial target actually was this fair value gap right here. I was targeting this fair value gap area here. So looking for another 30 pips. But what ended up happening when I went in to actually change my stop loss, I was looking to bring my stop loss to break even so that I could let it run a little bit. So I ended up closing it out by mistake and pretty much getting half of what I was actually looking for. So I think I closed it out, ended up closing it out somewhere around here. So about 20 pips or so, or what have you. So that was basically, and with that trade, I ended up, coming close back to break even for the week with the previous losses, and then the two winning trades. But if I the idea or the plan was to hit my target here because my TP was actually set. I had a stop loss set and I had a TP set. My TP up in this area would have given me about a $1,500 move for that one trade right there. But I didn't get that. And on the previous trade, I think I ended up with about 800 or so dollars. So again, like I said, overall, three losses, two wins, break even for the week. So what I decided to do was in doing my recap and analysis for the week as far as how my trades went and everything, I realized that I was able to win my trades when the price grabbed liquidity. Once it was able to grab liquidity, the moves were a lot better and more distinct, to the bias or what have you. So what I ended up doing, I was on the search for about a day or so for a while to kind of find, something that could give me a better indication of, sitting liquidity. And the reason being, of course, as you know, I have the liquidity indicator. We got the green there, and you can see the dotted lines here, what have you, for liquidity that's been mitigated, right? But the problem with that is that even though this liquidity could be pertaining to, these areas here, it doesn't show that. So, when price comes down, I'm not, necessarily sure because there's a whole area of liquidity, right? That price could be reacting to, and we just don't know. So I was able to find this particular indicator here by Lux Algo that gives a really good illustration as far as liquidity zones. And these are actually liquidity swings. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna turn off this indicator so that you can see. I'm not gonna turn it off. Let me just turn it down real quick so you can see the liquidity. Then I'm gonna take this one and hide this one real quick so you can see the liquidity swings. All right, so here it is. So you see right here. So basically what this indicator is doing is identifying the liquidity levels based off of volume. And it's basically taking the liquidity zones out of these wicks right here. And you can see where price comes down and reacts, to these wicked areas. So that gives me a better look. I haven't tested it out yet, just put this on last night again, just to see if it can help me to improve my timing on the entries, and capturing the actual liquidity, which will actually lead to the movement of price in the direction that I'm looking for in the first place. Again, not completely sure why it does that. Let me refresh it here so we can see. Okay, so all right. So that's the idea with the liquidity indicator there. I'm also going to touch on the volume profile that you can see there. I don't know if I've talked to that point just yet. So anyway, so of course the strategy is still the same. Basically we wait for price to come. Structure, we're looking at our higher time frame bias and all of that. So we can see again, looking at the daily. Getting an idea of where price, is looking to go on that daily time frame, right? So getting our higher time frame bias, so we know we're still, pretty much bullish, for the most part. So we can probably look for price to make a move towards this area right here of liquidity, thus completing this high point right here. So we don't know exactly what it's going to do. We are starting to see some weakness in the momentum. So we can also, start to look for, this move, or at least this leg of the bullish move, to probably slow down or whatnot. So we'll look out for that. But for now, again, as in the last couple of weeks, still pretty bullish on it for right now until we get indications that the market is ready to reverse. So going back to the hourly time frame, right? And remember, we do our main analysis is coming from the 1 hour time frame. That's what we're basing our analysis and our actual trade setups from. Again, looking at the cross of the momentum with the oscillator here. Whether it's going up and down, and then taking out trades, from a liquidity point, whether it be a order block, fair value gap for the continuation, or as we can see, this liquidation areas here. These are going to be the areas of interest that we look to take out trades, in the direction of the overall trading buy. So again, if we're bullish, then we're looking for buy trades, and we're looking for those buy setups, again, coming from liquidation areas of high liquidity. Or whatnot, because that's what's going to help to move the price in the desired direction, or the direction that you're looking at. You want to take your trades in that direction. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put on these other tools. So what I did with this one, so first, let me go back. So this one is the liquidity swings by Lux Algo. And you really don't have to make any changes to it. You can leave it the settings at default. So that's the liquidity indicator. Now, this indicator here, what I ended up doing was this is I've used this one before, but because I want to see on my entry time frame exactly how price is reacting in these supply and demand zones, I went on and put this one back on to give me that look that I'm looking for. When I'm trying to be more precise. For me, it's about precision and trying to time the entries a bit better. Like I said, again, I wasn't wrong. And, the direction that I was, taking, my trades, it was more so I was just getting in too early. My precision was off, whatnot. So keeping those things in mind, I wanted to, try out this indicator again to get an idea of if it helps me to improve that precision with the trade entries. So this one is the volume, support, and resistance zones. And what I did with this one, I'll show you the settings that I ended up doing with this one. So of course, using the hourly chart, and I kept it on zones. I took the number of zones, look back to 1, because I don't want to see all of those lines and stuff on the chart. That's why I took it off the first time, because the zones seem to stay on the chart and make the chart look a little messy. So I took it off and just put on another support and resistance indicator. But what I did was with this one is this time I went and took the look back zones to 1. So I just need to see the most recent zones, the zones that I'm looking to take my trades off of, or what have you. So of course, the hourly time frame for the first option, 4 hour. I disabled the 4 hour because I'm not utilizing the 4 hour for my trade setups. The daily and the weekly remain on, and I did again went to each of those that I'm looking at the zones on and made the number of zones back to 1. I did that for each of those zones that are being plotted on my chart. Again, to keep the chart looking as clean as possible so I can understand and see exactly what's going on. So those are the settings for that one. Okay. And as you can see, this is the result. So we have the 1 hour resistance and I have my 1 hour support right there. So if price so we have the others, as well when price, gets to those points or what have you. So as you can see, the daily resistance right here, once price comes back and tests this resistance level, you'll see this. If it holds, you'll see it turn into a support level. Right now, it's a resistance level that got ran through by price on the up move, that strong up move going on. So I did that for each of my charts. Of course, I have to keep 3 charts. I keep my technical chart, which is the 1 hour. I keep my higher time frame chart, which is the 1 day, and then I also keep my entry time frame, which is the 5 minutes. So I have these exact zones on each of those charts. Again, to help me with the precision of my trading setups and entries, or what have you. So that's that indicator there, and that's the purpose and what I'm using it for. So then the other indicator that you see here, so I'll touch on this one real quick. So as far as volume profiles go, I've tried them all. This one seems to be one of the better ones when it comes to understanding what's going on in price. And the reason I say that is because, all right, so here's how it works, right? For this indicator alone, right? So obviously what it's doing is it's telling you what the interest, right? So on this side, the left side of the profile is basically telling you what the sentiment is. So it's either going to be green or it's going to be red. So we know red stands for bearish sentiment, sell sentiment at this price level. And you can see each price level right here in the middle, right? And then it's going to be bullish. So that's just sentiment. That has nothing to do with the volume. So this left side here has nothing necessarily to do with the volume. It's just the popularity of that level and, which is more popular. Is it more popular to the buy side or to the sell side at that price level? Now, here's the deal. So that's just the sentiment part. So on the right-hand side of this profile, though, it's giving you the volume. It's giving you how much volume is at that level. It's not breaking it down bullish or bearish volume. It's just telling you plain old volume. So basically red is very little volume, right? And then blue is kind of mid-tier volume. So like, medium type volume, for that particular price point, right? And then the yellow here is basically telling you high volume. So this is a high volume area, and we can see where price consolidated for a while and pushed up, real big push up, right? After that consolidation, high volume area right there, right? And so typically what this profile will do is it will show you, so it'll kind of display a support or resistance area based off of the high volume area, right? So, this zone right here is indicative of the high volume being here. Again, same as some of the other volume profiles and everything, but different in how it displays and, things like that. So this is, again, a pretty good tool to have to be able to see where on your chart, where price is moving, where that high volume is. It automatically does that for you. You don't have to change anything in the settings. Now, this one right here, this area zone right here is indicative of the area where there's the most interest, where there seems to be the sentiment. So the highest amount of sentiment rests in this area. Again, not necessarily coinciding with the volume. There are times though, and this could be a really good trade setup when these two are aligned. When you have the sentiment and the volume, the high volume are in the same area. They're covering the same zone. That's a pretty significant zone right there when you have these two aligned in the same area or zones, right? Now, another good thing about this indicator, so again, you see blue volume, red volume, yellow volume, right? You can put a heat map. You can put what's called the map on here, the heat map, to kind of put those zones and overlay. It will overlay on it'll overlay on your chart here on your price movement, right? So, and you really don't need it. I'm gonna show you why. So if you put it on here, right? So the way the creators, Lux Algo, explain how this heat map works is basically when you get to the red zones, these are your potential for reversal zones. So these are areas where once price start getting into the red, you can probably start looking for possible reversals or what have you. The blue areas indicate areas where price tends to move pretty easily without much of a reaction. So you're going to get reactions or what have you, but they're not considered like reversals or what have you. So basically, price is moving from the tip or from red to red, basically, is how you want to look at it. And then, of course, your yellow zones is going to be your high volume areas, right? So remember, with these zones here, price tends to move through the blue zones pretty easily. And then you tend to get reversals because, again, it's not a lot of volume, not a lot of interest in the areas of red. So price will tend to maybe reverse, just based on the overall movement of the market or what have you. So, really good visuals to give you an idea of, the areas that price, where you can probably hold on to your trades, for a bit longer. Again, my intent was actually to hold this trade all the way up to this red area here, which would have gave me a pretty significant move because I got in right here. So the plan was to hold it till I got to about right here. So it would have gave me my typical 50 pips or more move on that one. But I ended up getting like half, a little less than half that. Now, the reason I say you don't need this heat map here overlay is because you can just look, at the volume areas here themselves. It coincides, with this right here. So whatever it's showing here is what's basically going to show on the heat map here. So you really don't need it. You can put it on and you can see it overlays pretty nicely. It's really non-intrusive, with what you have going on your price and market structure and everything. But if you choose not to have it, that's fine. You can just look, at the price levels themselves to see, how the profile, how the indicator is showing up and displaying the volume, the amount of volume at these areas. So really good indicator to have in your arsenal, especially those that, kind of utilize a volume profile as part of your, trading analysis and setups and stuff. So again, right side being just total volume altogether, and then the left side being the sentiment. And then remember, again, it's good when they match up. So when you have a lot of volume with the sentiment that's moving in your direction, and maybe it lines up with the order block, even better for your trade setups. And then again, we're looking at the oscillator for our momentum. That should help us to, pick and get better, more precise entries for our trades or what have you. So that's pretty much it, and all that I have for you for today. As always, if there are any questions, feel free to put them in the chat comment section of the video, and I'll be sure to try to get to your questions and answer them as soon as possible. As always, good luck with your trading, and I appreciate your time and attention to this video. Thank you.